who are some other people who influence your thinking the most? They don't have to be scholars either. It could be everyday people. I'm sure, your mother is someone who's deeply influential in the way that you think about things. I know the same is for me as well. But could you just name a couple more who kind of influence the way that you think? You've done just so much. You've done a diversity of work, I think, already as a young scholar in the Bible. You've written on Daniel, been published on Daniel, Ephesians. You've written a dissertation on Romans. You've co-authored a book on Revelation. You are currently at the sort of end stages of publishing on Luke. So you have kind of your hands in a lot of different pots. But besides Samir and Tommy, who are sort of the folks that influence you the most in your thinking in scholarship?
Yeah, for sure, my mom. Yeah, I should also say, to her credit, she has 2 degrees herself, bachelor's and master's in biblical studies and theology, and she's a, just well-educated reader and all that, and she's read everything I've written. So even like she was proofreading my stuff, even at when I was a student at Duke and stuff. Awesome. So anyway, yes, but very influential for more ways than just, mothers are always influential. But, even particularly with my so-called professional scholarship or whatever. And but through Samir and Tommy, I am very much kind of a few of those things, especially the Ephesians article right now, and then some of the things, like some of what's underlying the sacrificial stuff, like it is having to do with like atonement theory. Well, no, I'm not offering an atonement theory, but like the problems with certain atonement theories that have raised these issues with me, but that also are linked into like, so this is what Willie Jennings, sorry, I should complete the sentence. I view some of my work as like a large footnote to some of Willie Jennings' theological and historical work on how Western Christianity in particular has seized upon a longer history of supersessionism in the church. So this church supersedes Israel, replaces all these things. If I don't really want to take the time to spell all that out about what supersessionism is, but being introduced to those connected issues of racism and the colonial project and white supremacy as being, if not like generated by supersessionism, at least now cultivated and nurtured and supported by supersessionist, anti-Jewish readings. And then to see that, like, it's just so spread out in Western theology in all kinds of ways and corners, and to realize, oh, this is also kind of underlying a lot of problems with how we're understanding sacrifice and period. And Jesus, what he's doing there, and he's always, that's all bad and barbaric or just inefficient or something like that. And here's this whole other thing that we're doing, and reading the New Testament and the story of salvation there in a totally, you get a different picture if you're not located in the Hebrew scriptures and Second Temple Judaism and all that, and not just embedding our readings within that context, but like if we come out with a reading that has God abandoning the ones he's covenanted and chosen and choosing someone else, regardless of the effect of what we might say, we confessing Christians might name as their failure, well, then our God's lame. Sorry, that's actually too. That's not even. That's the wrong word. I need a better. It's that God is horrible. That God is.
God sucks. Yeah.
God, like, you're gonna give up on us? One wrong move, like, oh, let's go somewhere else. This guy's committed to his promises and committed to people in Israel according to the flesh. And so anyway, so through Willie Jennings' work, I'm like seeing how his analysis of all this stuff. I'm like, oh, this is like, let's do the exegetical work underneath that. Let's see how this. And so my article on Ephesians on there, stuff I'm doing with sacrifice, is related to that, and my dissertation even on Romans and what's going on there. Topic for another time, but also things you're very familiar with because of your recent book. With Douglas Campbell, and there's just so Willie Jennings for sure. And then through that exploration, Michael Wyschogrod, which used to feel like be more well known in some corners of biblical scholarship. He's Jewish, Orthodox Jewish scholar, and so read him. People get his takes on things.
I want to second that, because my undergraduate advisor turned me onto that stuff quite early on, and Wyschogrod is super, super important. So listen to Andrew here. Read him. Read it. Like it is really vital. Yeah. Sorry to interrupt, but I just wanted to
good. More. Yeah. So them, man, I mean, and then Jen Rosner is also one of my last classes I took at Fuller. And that was also like from another angle, from Tommy Givens and Samir with Willie Jennings. They were both his students when Tommy and Samir were at Duke. We're both Willie's students, but so I don't know Jennings personally, but through them. And then but Jen Rosner was also then using Wyschogrod, Daniel Boyarin, and Jen Rosner's a theologian, and just opened up. Like I started to see a lot of these connections, like, oh man, theology and the colonialism and exegesis and anti-Jewish reading, supersessionism, all this stuff. So Kendall Soulen also through that class of Jen Rosner, and that really kind of in terms of like what I've then started publishing and stuff and doing for my dissertation research and stuff, that's all kind of started from there. But then as I went on in my program, or just programs, and even at when I was at Fuller, I just started seeing a bunch of connections with what other scholars were doing. So the work of Susan Eastman and even Ellen Davis, who I did a Psalms reading with her. She helped me sharpen my Hebrew while I was there. It was an unofficial group, and I never took any official classes with her. But she's a priest, and her work is both scholarly and deeply pastoral, and I appreciate that. Like it's shaped the way I try to present my scholarship as well. Obviously, it goes without saying, Douglas Campbell. I was very struck by his work before I became his doctoral student, and weirdly enough, it actually started. I wasn't convinced on his reading of Romans at first. I thought there was other, and then ended up writing a dissertation, defending and supporting and amending and disagreeing with some of his detailed takes and supplying other things. But like that all kind of happened by accident. I wasn't meaning to do that. I was going to stick with Ephesians originally when I was applying to Duke. But yeah, so Mal. I should also name Erin Dufault-Hunter, who's teaches ethics at Fuller. She was just very helpful. Like there's always ethical, pragmatic stakes in what we're doing, whether it's exegesis or whatever we think we're doing. And she's just helped me attend to those issues a lot. And then from afar, Rowan Williams, David Bentley, Hart, Morna Hooker, a lot of these people have offered me, given me language or just ways of seeing certain issues or problems and relationships between certain aspects. So yeah, them for sure. In terms of this book, though, that's like, I'm sticking more with who's writing on these topics, obviously. And so this book, the Lamb of the Free book, the ones I'm mainly building on there are Jacob Milgrom, Liane Feldman, fantastic young scholar. I mean, she's further along than I am in my career. She's coming out with all kinds of good things on sacrifice and the priestly literature and all that. And her book, The Story of Sacrifice, was so helpful for me. And Jonathan Klawans, and then Matt Thiessen, David Moffitt. I'm just kind of like right there with or standing on their shoulders, really. All of them, but like some of what I do is just, yeah, it's just like, oh yeah, if they're right. No, I think, I give other reasons, but like if like just kind of connecting some dots, I feel like Land of the Free is a lot of just dot connecting.